Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Georgia and today I'm going to show you this very basic eyeshadow look that I've created using these e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes. I've only used one shade out of this one, but otherwise I went in with the cream and sugar eyeshadow palette there. I've used the brown eyeshadow to do like an eyeliner wing as well as talking about a few different brushes that I use and reasons why I use them and everything. But if you want like a little mini in-depth eyeshadow tutorial with a bit of a few extras, then keep on watching. Okay, so first of all I wanted to show you a few brushes I use and the difference between the application of eyeshadow that you'll get from each of these brushes. If you have more of a fluffier brush like these ones, you will have more of your eyeshadow spread everywhere. It'll be easier to blend, you'll be able to move it around, the colour won't be so intense or like deep when you first put it on because it will disperse, especially if you use it and then you can tap it off and then put a little bit on. You can definitely build up a lot more eyeshadow and colour with these ones. These are the best sort of ones to start out with, I believe, just because they make it so much easier to blend everything. Another brush, this one is quite fluffy again, but it is slightly longer and a bit more precise, so you can get in, especially into the crease where you want to put that exact colour, or sometimes here wherever you want to put that exact colour. These sort of brushes are really good for that. Once again, this isn't too much of a dense one, it is kind of fluffy, so it will be very easy to blend with. If you had more of a shorter, a stubby or a really dense one, it'd be quite hard to actually move that colour around, but you could get it more precisely in one area. And then I have this one, which is a very, very small and almost like a flat brush, but it's slightly rounded, and I use this one for eyeliner. I use this to take the eyeshadow and put it on to have a precise line. This will really pack the colour on and it'll be very precise to where you put it, and it won't really smudge much everywhere. You'll have to go over and use it quite a bit. So this sort of brush is hard to work with blending, but if you're only using it for eyeliner or something or more detailing, it is easier for that. But it's just, especially when it comes to blending or beginner eyeshadow, it's very easy to use these fluffy brushes instead. I tend to use this Essence one here. This is the Essence 2-in-1 Colour Correcting and Contouring Brush. This is a double-ended one. I tend to use this end to go in afterwards once I've done my eyeshadow and use it to blend everything out a bit more. So any of the edges or any of the colours that have been together, I just go ahead and put this without anything eyeshadow on real a lot of the time and just blend it. This end I use for an inner eye highlight or just up onto my brow bone. Once again, this one is very dense, so the colour that you do put on will be precise and kind of stay there a lot of the time. So that's why I use it with highlight. It just makes it more vibrant and intense. So it's very important when you're choosing your brushes to do your eyeshadow with that you're looking at ones which will disperse the product or whether you want it to be precisely in one place. A lot of the time, if you're using it for your crease or to blend or put an overall colour, these fluffier ones are best. And then you can go in with either a flat brush or more of a very short, dense brush to put the colour onto the lid if you're doing a really sort of vibrant, intense look, you know. But the brushes I am using today, this is the Morphe M456 brush, M433, M506 brush. What's wrong with me today? And then obviously, like I said, the Essence one, and then the Morphe M508 brush. I have a lot of the Morphe brushes, but you don't have to use this one. I do have a lot of other brushes here as well that I've just kind of collected over time. But the Morphe ones I got in a set recently. I bought the James Charles, the smaller brush set, just because it was on offer, and it was really good to get all those brushes for that price. But otherwise, I have used various different brushes over the years and still do for my eyeshadow. Like I have a lot of the Real Technique brushes. These ones, once again, this is an example of a very short and dense brush. This one will put the colour where you want it to be. It is slightly fluffy still, so you will get a bit more like colour disperse. The colour will disperse a lot more with these ones, but they are very nice brushes to work with. They're slightly shorter and fluffy, so you do get that colour packed on, but you can blend with it too. But I'm just going to go in with these ones today just because these are some of my favourite ones to use at the moment and they're very easy to work with. And you can get a lot of brushes that are very similar to this in many different brands and they will work just as good. The eyeshadow palette we're using today is one of these e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow palettes. I do have a few different colours. This is in cream and sugar. I just think this is a really good starter eyeshadow palette to start with, and they're only £3 each, and you don't have that confusion of having too many different colours to choose from. You can kind of see what's there and you know where to put it. In these e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes you have 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. In this one there is the lighter matte and then a very dark brown matte there. And then the 2 shimmers, one in a sort of champagne-y cream tone and the other one a slightly more copper. But these are really nice to start with. Basically I'm just going to go and put the lighter one all over my lid, use the brown one to kind of contour, add a bit of depth to the edge here, and then go in with a shimmer just to really top it off. This is a really good one as well because this lighter shade does match my skin tone, so it isn't too obvious that I've got other eyeshadow on, and it is a really nice blendable and easy shade to use. So if you are looking for sort of a beginner palette, kind of look for one which has a neutral tone in it or one that will match your skin tone, just because it makes it look a lot more natural. And this is just a basic eyeshadow look at the moment, so I'm going to keep it quite neutral. So I'm going to go in with the Morphe M433 brush. It is not clean at the moment, I do apologise. I'm just going to take the lighter shade here onto my fluffier brush and just take it all over the lid. This one is more of a base, and where it is a very similar colour to my skin tone anyway, and we are using a fluffy brush, it's going to look very natural. So I've just put this one all over my lid, and I think I am going to go into a shade of this. It's just slightly darker, deeper, and slightly more pink toned. But this one I've just put everywhere, so I put it on my lid and up to my brow bone as well, just to really set everything and have it as a complete base. This one again is still a quite neutral colour. It's just slightly more pink toned. I'm going to go into this with the same brush again, and this time tapping it off. And then I'm just going to put this onto the lid for now. I'm using quite a light hand. And you can kind of see the colour difference in what I put down there. And when I first go in with that colour as well, with any colour, I put it where I want it to be most intense first, because then once it blends out, you won't have a harsh line. Whereas if I went in with that colour and put it here first, it will show up immediately and it'll be harder to blend. Whereas I put it down here first, where I want the colour to be, and then blend it up to the edge, it will blend a lot more nicely. And it also kind of matters where you hold your brush as well. If you hold it quite close up here, you get a bit more control with it, but it is a lot more harsh. But if you hold it down here, you can give more of a lighter touch, and it will just help to blend everything out more nicely. When you're blending, you don't necessarily need more eyeshadow on your brush. You can put it down where you want it to be, blend that out, and then take it slightly further up or out with your brush without any extra product on. This will just help to blend it. You don't always need eyeshadow on your brush to put colour down, and you can just keep adding more and more. If you didn't think that was enough and you did need more, just go in with a little bit more and put it on again there. It really is a case of building it up and blending it out. Okay, so now that you're happy with what you've got on already, you could easily stop there, just put some mascara on, a bit of eyeliner or something. You could easily just stop at this, but I'm going to take it a little bit further by going back into that first eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take this brown shade here. I'm going to use the same brush again, but just for the corner a little bit, and I'm going to use the other brush to take it into the crease, just to kind of show you how these brushes work. But take a little bit, and especially with this dark colour, you want to tap it off, because you don't want too much. You can add more, but you don't want too much to start off with. And with the darker shade, I tend to just tap it in a little bit first, and then slowly, with a very light hand, do small little brush strokes. This will just keep the colour where you want it a bit more, whereas if you went in and did really big brush strokes or were quite hard with it, it'd put a lot more of the colour down, or if you did big brush strokes, it would blend it out a lot more, which we can blend out more in a minute, but it's just kind of putting the colour where you want it to be first and seeing where you like it, because I feel like if we put too much brown on, it's not going to be a very neutral, natural, everyday look. We'll just see where it goes. I do also think that's what it is a lot of the time when it comes to makeup, is just going with it, going with the flow. There's a amount of times I've done my makeup and it's turned out like, what am I even doing? And you just keep going with it and blend, add more, dust it off a bit more, put a bit of whatever on it, and it will eventually come back around, a lot of the time anyway. And you create something slightly different to what you first envisioned, but you've still managed to save it, you know? just keep blending everything and hoping for the best. That's the best advice I can give for eyeshadow. Okay, and then I am just taking it slightly up into the crease, just with what's there left over on my brush. But I am keeping it very much to this outer corner. And as you can see, I haven't really put too much on there, and it's not that much darker, but it has given a bit more depth to my eye. And just, I don't know, made it look a little bit something extra, even though I haven't done too many steps. I haven't put too much makeup on or anything, but it just makes it look a little bit extra. Of course this is fine and this looks lovely too, but this just makes it a little bit extra, you know? Okay, then I'm going in with my Morphe, the M506 brush. This is the slightly longer one. It's still quite fluffy and everything there. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of this dark colour I've been using. And then you kind of want to find your crease or your, not your brow bone, but the under bit here. And this is where I'm focusing this colour. I'm just bringing it in a bit there too. I was going to go in a bit darker with this colour, but I quite like how the overall look is at the moment. I don't want to go anything too, you know. Because I'm taking the tiniest little bit, I'm just almost brushing it off slightly too, and I'm going to just build this up. Again, focusing the colour on the outside here first, where I want more of the depth in the colour, and then slowly blending it in here as well. This is again just to add a bit more definition. Take a tiny bit just under the eye too, and then just, I'm not taking it all the way across because I want quite like an open eye look. I'm just taking a little bit of the edge here and then bringing it up to the rest of the eyeshadow at the top, just to make sure everything's blended together. It looks like an overall look, not anything's disjointed or anything there. I'm taking like the tiniest little bit, brushing it off, tap tap tap, and then starting this outer corner here, very close to lash line as much as possible. And then before I go in with any of the shimmer, I'm going to go in with my slightly fluffier brush just to blend everything a little bit more. I usually just go around the edges to make sure it's blended. This is where it helps, where I put down that first eyeshadow colour, just that very nude shade, because this will help this colour to blend into that. I'm going to go in with these shimmery shades in here. With shimmers, they usually do work best just by using your finger. You can get a lot more pigment on, and the shimmer does work really nicely, especially like pressed shimmers like this. Glitters are also a very similar thing too. Otherwise, you can always go in with a flat brush like this too, just to get some of that and then put it on. But I find, I don't know, you know, either way, whatever works best for you. And depending on how much shimmer and pigment you actually want on there, again, your finger will pick up a lot more compared to the brush, and the brush will also leave a lot more fallout. It kind of could go everywhere your face. I'm not saying that this doesn't either, just because it's, if it's a glitter shimmery pigment, there's always a chance of it falling on your face and staying there. Same with any eyeshadow, to be honest. I'm going to go in with this lighter shimmer here. Just taking a bit on my finger. I'm going to put it on my inner eye. So basically where I haven't put the eyeshadow yet, like any of that darker shade, I'm going to put it there. And then bring it into the middle of my eye. I'm just keeping it on my eyelid for now. If you put it onto your inner eye, it will highlight this and make your eye look very much like this shape. If you just put it onto the centre of your eye here, it will give your eye more of a rounded look. So depending on what you're going for, you can put your shimmer in a different place. Same with the dark as well. Anywhere you're putting the darker colour will bring it back, and anywhere you're putting the lighter or shimmer colour will bring it forward or make it look more like rounded as such. And also a lot of the time, when you're looking at someone else's eyeshadow or their makeup and stuff or anything, the eye is drawn to the shimmery part, so you'll see that bit first almost before the rest of it. It just depends what you want to emphasize. The same as normal like face highlight and stuff as well. Any contour is darker, so it'll bring it back, make a shadow basically, and any highlight will bring it forward and be shimmery, or it'll pick up in the light a bit more as well. So naturally the light will be more drawn to it. And then you can take the original brush you're using. I'm not putting any more extra colour on it, but I'm just going to start from the outside just in case there is any more on there, and then just bring it into that line where I have got that shimmer, just to make sure there's no harsh lines or anything of where I put it down, and at least it will blend more into that as well. It won't be a block line of shimmer. Okay, and again, you could just leave it at this, put a bit of mascara on or something, whatever. But I'm going to go in and attempt to do a winged eyeliner with eyeshadow. I did do this the other day and it looks really nice. I am taking my smaller, flatter brush now. This is the M508 brush. Actually, let me show you the difference between the two. So this one is, once again, very short, dense, compact. I'd use this for eyeliner or detailing. You can get the colour precisely where you want it. The colour will turn out a lot darker. And then this one is more precise, but it is a big fluffy one again. I'm just going to go into this darker shade here, just taking a bit onto my brush. And then showing you. Obviously I've rubbed this back and forth, but you can see the difference between this fluffy brush and the colour I've put down compared to this more compact brush. If you're going in trying to do your whole eyeshadow with a brush like this or a very compact brush, you would end up like this and it'd be harder to blend everything. Whereas if you use a fluffier brush, it goes in less colour on to start with and easier to blend out and looks more natural, there's no harsh lines or anything, and you'd be able to go in and put more colour on top of it again to blend it up to, if you wanted this level of pigment, you could definitely add more on top and blend it up to be like that, but otherwise it's not as harsh with those two. But anyway, I'm going to go in with this brush to do my eyeliner. I'm just taking the brown here, taking a bit on the end of my brush, and then I'm going to tap it off because that is going to be fall out onto your face. And then I'm taking it so it's completely like level to where I want it to be. I'm just going to start off by dabbing that colour onto my lash line basically. Anywhere you'd normally put eyeliner. This is just more of a softer approach to like a liquid eyeliner or even going with an eye pencil. And it's easier to blend out if you're making mistakes or just to smudge it out, so it doesn't have to be an exact perfect line like you'd have with liquid eyeliner. You could make a mistake and it'd be a bit more messy or blendable. It'd be a lot more like, look like it's just part of the makeup. And what I'm going to attempt to do is have the thicker line out here or more eyeshadow out here and less in there. So I start by putting my colour here first. You probably start in the middle as well if you wanted to, just to like even out the shape easier, but this is just how I do my eyeliner. And then I am going and just doing little brush strokes with that, just so it's all blended a bit more. There you go. That should turn out pretty well. It'll just look a lot less harsh if you use an eyeshadow. Even if you went in with black eyeshadow, it wouldn't look as harsh and full on like you've got a lot of makeup on. Like sometimes I find if I wear liquid eyeliner and it's a black one and I do a black winged eye, if I don't have enough eyeshadow or makeup on the rest of my face, it does sometimes look a bit odd or a bit like, it makes me look a bit more pale. I have to have a lot more eye makeup on to really pull off the black liquid eyeliner. I do absolutely love doing a liquid eye, but this is just a really nice alternative and you don't really need to have that much makeup on the rest of your face to make it look cohesive or all together on your face. And then if you do get any fallout from your eyeshadow, just take a big fluffy brush and just brush any of that away. I haven't put any eyeshadow as eyeliner on my bottom lash line. I just like to have it on the top and it just makes me look like I've got more open eyes. I feel like if I was to take this down, especially on the same brush, it would look very harsh down here. You would see the definite line between what you put and also up onto the inner, your waterline. So I do just kind of keep it to using this fluffier brush. Finally, you can just put a mascara on top of this, false eyelashes if you want to. I tend to go in and just curl my lashes with an eyelash curler. This isn't a need or a necessity at all, but I really think it does help to open up your lashes and really just curl them. And it just really, I just really like doing this way. Just going to go in with the mascara. This is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. I really wiggle it at the root and then pull up through the rest of the lashes. That's it now. We're done. Let's see. Oh, I will just grab a highlighter. I have just grabbed the Revolution Precious Glamour highlighter there. I think it was like $1 million or a million something or other. yeah, and I'm just going to take the end of that Essence brush, just take a little bit, tap it off still, and then I'm just going to take it in my inner corner. I'm just dabbing it slightly because I kind of want the colour just to be straight there, the highlighter, and then taking a little bit of it up onto my brow bone here too. Then you can always go in with your blending brush and just blend it up slightly if you do think it's a little bit too harsh or it's a little bit too much in one place. Wow, that was, my face is so shiny. Okay, sorry, I used a very shiny blush today and it has kind of got everywhere. I didn't realise how shiny I was until I actually properly looked at my face. And I have got mascara everywhere too, so, and I drop everything. So I don't really know if you want to learn eyeshadow from me or not, but here it is, the finished look. I like it, it's very pretty, it's very natural, but it still has that bit of something extra to it, you know. It did take me a while to do, but only because I've really been talking through the steps, otherwise it doesn't take too long. I really like the lashes and everything with this look too. Obviously you could pair it with more of a natural look and not going with the eyeliner, or going with the eyeliner and not do a wing, or do a slightly different brown, not do such a dark colour. You could just pair it with basic mascara every day, but with a little something extra. Like, you know, you got that little pep in your step and you're like, yes, today is my day. This is the eyeliner and eyeshadow look for that. So this is just everything. Let me know if there's any other tutorials or sort of basics things that you want to see. I know obviously I'm not saying I know everything about makeup, but this is just a few things I do. And I know when I was starting out I didn't have a clue what to do with like makeup at all, and I have learned a lot of it through tutorials and just testing it out and seeing myself as well. I do kind of play around with makeup a lot even when I don't usually leave the house, just to see what sort of like blendability or colours or different looks I go for. So let me know if there's anything else you want to see. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and I'll see you again soon. Bye! What was I going to say? What was I going to say?